Do you really trust Senator McConnell to actually bring up an immigration vote?
I do, and we'll have a chance in 2 weeks to see if I'm right. He told us that if we didn't reach an agreement by February 8th, he would bring it to the floor of the Senate. The lives of literally millions are at stake in this decision. There were almost 800,000 signed up for DACA protection. There are another million, perhaps, who might also be protected, the Dreamers and the like. And so there are lives at stake here. We've got to do this. This situation today, the challenge we face was created by President Trump on September 5th when he eliminated this program which protects these lives and these people and gives them a future. So now it's up to Congress, Democrats and Republicans, to get it done. Conversations are underway. I'm encouraged by the level of participation of other members who want to be part of this.
What was your response on the DACA volley from the White House yesterday?
Well, first the President announced on Wednesday night that he was in favor of a path to citizenship. That's the first time he said that. I think that's only fair. These people have to earn their way into legal status and citizenship, but they ought to be given that chance. This is the only country they've ever known. They were brought here as children. They should be given a chance to be citizens and part of our future. And then he came back the next day, Thursday, and started saying, well, here are the conditions. Well, I don't want these young people held hostage to what is an extreme agenda when it comes to immigration in America. We need to find a common ground here, one that both parties can agree on, that takes care of the immediate challenge and does it in a fair fashion, makes certain that both parties are committed to border security, and we are. But we can't rewrite all the immigration laws of America on the backs of these young people. We've got to accept a responsibility that goes beyond this piece of legislation. What you're going to have when you start a heavy-handed tactic on immigration, people are going to shrink back into the shadows. We're finding in some of the communities in the last year across America fewer reported crimes of domestic abuse and child abuse because Hispanic families, for example, were afraid that if they went to the police over a terrible thing that happened inside their house, they'd be deported. So that means that criminals literally are getting away with terrible things. That doesn't help us as a nation. I'm worried that the President's good words of Wednesday night may not be where he stands when he gets back from this International Economic Summit. I've seen it happen. I saw it on a Tuesday when I sat next to him at a meeting, and he couldn't have been more open to solving this problem. He said, you send me a bill and I will sign it. I'll take the political heat, and don't take a lot of time, just do it. 48 hours later, we presented him with this bill. He rejected it. And so I agree that most people are trying to figure out where he is at any given moment. But I hope what he said this last week about solving this problem is sincere and that he'll stick with it. Well, I can tell you this 2 or 3 day shutdown which occurred managed to focus national attention on this important immigration issue. Equally important, we had a commitment, not once but twice, from Senator McConnell for a timetable to move forward on considering this issue, to make sure we did it in a fair way and opened it to amendments from Democrats and Republicans. I think at the end of the day, we're better for it. And there was a second thing that occurred. During the course of the 72 hours of the shutdown, we had emerging in the United States Senate a new moderate force, a strong center of Democrats and Republicans who still continue to meet as late as yesterday and talk about ways to make the Senate more effective and responsive. I know what people think about Congress and politicians, and they have every right to. But if we can solve our own problems, make our own institutions stronger, and really respond to the real challenges facing families across America, then ultimately that temporary shutdown will have been worth it. My mother was an immigrant to the United States, came here, brought here at the age of 2, brought to East St. Louis, Illinois, from Lithuania. Her son is a senator from the state of Illinois. That's my story. That's my family's story. That's also America's story. That's who we are. Immigrants have made this nation, and they've come here sometimes empty-handed and made great companies, great futures for others in the process. The diversity of this country is its strength, not its weakness. We want a secure country, that's number one, but number two, we want a diverse country working together and proving that America is still the right place to come if you have a dream that can build in the future.